A book in 10 minutes presents. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Introduction to the author. Fyodor Dostoevsky, a towering figure in Russian literature, was born on November 11, 1821, in Moscow, Russia. He is renowned for his profound psychological insights and his exploration of the human condition. Dostoevsky's works delve into themes of morality, free will, faith, and the nature of evil, making him a pivotal influence in both Russian and global literary traditions. His life was marked by dramatic ups and downs, including imprisonment in Siberia for his involvement in a politically subversive group, which deeply influenced his philosophical outlook and literary themes. Dostoevsky's writing style is characterized by its intense emotionality, complex characters, and existentialist undertones. Overview of the novel. Crime and Punishment, first published in 1866, is one of Dostoevsky's most celebrated novels. It is a gripping psychological thriller that explores the mind of a young, impoverished student named Rodion Raskolnikov. The novel is set in St. Petersburg, Russia, and portrays the moral dilemmas and psychological anguish of Raskolnikov as he grapples with the consequences of his actions. Dostoevsky intricately weaves themes of guilt, redemption, and the clash between good and evil, creating a narrative that is both thought-provoking and deeply moving. Summary of the novel. Part 1, The Crime. The story begins with Raskolnikov, a former student living in dire poverty, contemplating a heinous act. He believes that certain extraordinary individuals possess the right to transgress moral laws if it benefits humanity. Driven by this ideology, he plans to murder Alyona Ivanovna, a cruel and miserly old pawnbroker, to steal her money and use it for noble causes. Raskolnikov views her as a louse who contributes nothing to society. His philosophical justification for the murder is influenced by a Napoleonic complex, where he likens himself to great men who have committed crimes for the greater good. Raskolnikov carries out his plan, killing Alyona with an axe. However, his meticulous plan unravels when Alyona's half-sister, Lizaveta, unexpectedly arrives at the scene. Panicking, Raskolnikov kills Lizaveta as well. Overwhelmed by guilt and fear, he hastily takes some valuables and flees, leaving behind a chaotic crime scene. Part 2, The Psychological Turmoil. After the murder, Raskolnikov's mental state deteriorates rapidly. He becomes paranoid and feverish, isolating himself from friends and family. His behavior arouses the suspicion of those around him, including his loyal friend Dmitry Prokofiev-Razumikin and his mother Pulcheria Alexandrovna and sister Avdotya Romanovna, Dunya, who come to visit him. Raskolnikov's guilt manifests in various forms. He experiences vivid hallucinations and nightmares, and he is haunted by the faces of his victims. His interactions with others become increasingly strained, particularly with his family and Razumikin, who are deeply concerned about his erratic behavior. He is torn between his guilt and his belief in his own philosophical justification for the murders. Part 3, The Investigation. The investigation into the murders intensifies, led by the astute and perceptive Porfiry Petrovich, the head of the police. Porfiry suspects Raskolnikov but lacks concrete evidence. Their cat-and-mouse interactions form some of the most intense and psychologically charged scenes in the novel. Porfiry uses a combination of psychological pressure and cunning to unsettle Raskolnikov, hoping to provoke a confession. Meanwhile, Raskolnikov encounters Sofia Semyonovna Marmeladov, Sonia, the daughter of a drunken civil servant. Sonia has been forced into prostitution to support her impoverished family. Despite her suffering, she retains a deep faith in God and a compassionate heart. Raskolnikov is drawn to Sonia, finding in her a kindred spirit who understands his torment. Sonia becomes a moral anchor for Raskolnikov, embodying the themes of suffering and redemption. Part 4, The Confession. Raskolnikov's internal conflict reaches its zenith. He is torn between confessing his crime and clinging to his belief in his own superiority. His interactions with Sonia and Porfiry intensify this struggle. Sonia urges him to confess and seek redemption, while Porfiry's relentless pursuit of the truth leaves Raskolnikov increasingly isolated and desperate. In a climactic confrontation, Raskolnikov finally confesses his crime to Sonia. She encourages him to turn himself in and accept the consequences of his actions as a path to redemption. Raskolnikov, realizing the depth of his moral crisis, decides to follow Sonia's advice. In a pivotal scene, he goes to a police station and publicly confesses to the murders, breaking down in front of everyone present. Part 5, The Punishment. Raskolnikov surrenders to the police and is sentenced to 8 years of penal servitude in Siberia. Sonia follows him, providing emotional support and representing the possibility of spiritual redemption. In the harsh conditions of the labor camp, Raskolnikov undergoes a profound transformation. He begins to understand the value of human connection, compassion, and repentance. The novel concludes with Raskolnikov's gradual acceptance of his guilt and the beginning of his spiritual awakening. He starts to comprehend the importance of love and the potential for redemption, setting the stage for his eventual reintegration into society. Dostoevsky hints at Raskolnikov's future redemption and spiritual rebirth, leaving readers with a sense of hope and the possibility of moral renewal. Lessons learned from the novel. Crime and Punishment offers a wealth of philosophical and moral insights that continue to resonate with readers. The nature of guilt and conscience, the novel explores how guilt can consume an individual. Raskolnikov's psychological torment demonstrates that one cannot escape the consequences of their actions, no matter how much they try to rationalize them. His guilt manifests in his physical and mental deterioration, showing the destructive power of a troubled conscience. The complexity of morality. Dostoevsky delves into the complexities of moral relativism. Raskolnikov's belief that he could justify murder for a perceived greater good is ultimately shown to be flawed. The novel underscores the inherent value of human life and the dangers of dehumanizing others for ideological reasons. It challenges the notion of utilitarianism and questions whether the ends can ever truly justify the means. Redemption and suffering. Through Raskolnikov's journey, Dostoevsky illustrates the potential for redemption through suffering and repentance. The character of Sonia embodies the Christian ideals of forgiveness and compassion, offering a path to spiritual renewal. Raskolnikov's eventual acceptance of his guilt and his willingness to atone for his sins highlight the redemptive power of suffering and the possibility of moral resurrection. The role of society. The novel critiques the social conditions that contribute to crime and moral decay. Raskolnikov's poverty and the injustices faced by characters like Sonia highlight the need for empathy and social reform. Dostoevsky portrays a society where the marginalized and oppressed are driven to desperate acts, emphasizing the importance of social justice and compassion. The search for meaning, crime and punishment is a profound exploration of existential questions. Raskolnikov's internal struggles reflect the human quest for meaning and purpose in a seemingly indifferent world. His ultimate realization of the importance of love and human connection offers a hopeful resolution to his existential crisis. The novel suggests that true meaning and fulfillment come from embracing one's humanity and the inherent interconnectedness of all people. In conclusion, Crime and Punishment is a masterful examination of the human psyche, morality, and the possibility of redemption. Dostoevsky's nuanced portrayal of Raskolnikov's inner turmoil and the novel's rich thematic content make it a timeless literary masterpiece. The lessons it imparts about guilt, morality, and the potential for spiritual renewal continue to resonate with readers, ensuring its enduring relevance in the literary canon. If you like the content, please support us by liking the content, subscribing to the channel, and activating the notification bell to receive the content when it is uploaded.